Hey lovely, it's Chrissy with you today, sharing my second video with the fantastic November kits. So in my last video I mentioned, I did a whole bunch of techniques using the Nuvo paste and I made all sorts of cool stuff. One thing I didn't try was when I made the spray, was to use it through a stencil. And I mentioned that I wanted to give it a go. So that's what I thought I would do, and that's how I started this layout, and I have to admit it turned out fantastic. It's a really nice, beautiful, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just really very, very subtle, and it was fantastic for my layout. So that's what I did. I got my Kaiser Craft doily stencil, and I very rarely use this on layouts, so it was a good chance to give it a go. And I did that the night before, which is why the light was why it looked different. I wanted to wait until I had natural sunlight for this because it makes it easier to see the mist I used. When it popped into my head and I gave it a go, it was actually night and I had closed all my blinds and I was working with artificial light, and it makes it hard to see the mist, which is why I waited until the next day, which is also why I waited another day to get a decent photo of the layout so you could see all this pretty shimmer. So it's really, really nice, and the shimmer is just, it's absolutely beautiful. As I'm really quite happy you can see it. You can actually see some of the shimmer. Now that's the Nuvo paste. They are metallic, and yeah, they give you a beautiful little shimmer on your projects without the residue left behind. So for this layout I decided to do a picture of my sister at her birthday back in September, because I thought it went with the pink background and the kit a bit. And I love the navy. I really want to get my hands on the navy Nuvo paste as well, because I think that would be an awesome contrast to this pink. And it just so happens that there's navy in the kit, which works wonderfully. So I was looking for something to matte the photo with, but I didn't want to go with see how it's cream, and it sort of didn't work with my white background. So I decided to just cut into the middle of my paper and use some of the pink and some of that navy blue just to anchor it down a bit. I really do love the navy and blue combination, the navy and pink combination. So you'll notice in my past few videos I have been working on layering. I usually only matte my photo once or twice, and I love watching all these beautiful scrappers have these fantastic layers behind their photos, but I've just never been able to do it. So recently I have been working on, in my previous few scrapbook layouts, I've been working on some layers a little bit. I did try some pink tissue paper on this page, but it failed miserably. So I cut that out and yeah, I ripped it off. So I'm just working on some layers, and I've just cut into some more of that 12 by 12 paper, which I'm very proud of myself for. I tend to hoard paper because it's too pretty to cut into, but I'm working hard to get past that fear. So in this kit I've quite happily chopped into about 3 pieces of paper already. So I was quite happy with that. Now the sticker sheet come with this awesome gold Celebrate, which was obviously perfect for a birthday. I did have a few problems getting it off the sheet because it's really sticky, and then a few of the bits and pieces that were inside the letters, but I got it on there and it worked quite well. And then I'm just adding some of the hearts from that sticker sheet to my background just to scatter it around a bit. And I know that this is very similar to the last layout I did last month, yeah, but I just wanted to add some more to that background. It's a very subtle background that I have happening with that mist, and I just wanted to add a bit more to it, add a bit more interest. So at one point I was planning on using this tag, but I didn't want to stick it straight to the page, so I've stuck it to some plain cardstock that I had on my table, and then I've just cut it out so it's no longer sticky and I can move it around and see if I like it. In the end I don't end up using it because I decide to cut into some more of that 12 by 12 paper and cut out some of those flowers. So I do some fussy cutting, which is lots of fun. Very, very rare for me as well. I'm not much of a cutter. I don't like fussy cutting. Does anyone like fussy cutting? But this piece of paper was just too perfect not to. There's some those flowers were just beautiful. You'll see it in a minute, actually. You'll see the piece of paper I'm talking about. But for now, I'm just running through that ephemera pack and grabbing out some bits and pieces, and this piece here, this flower, is what makes me decide to do some fussy cutting. So I think about making the tag and the flower work together, but no. This is the paper I was talking about. So once I've decided to work on use this flower, I discovered that this is the only one in the ephemera pack. So then I remembered that there was a piece of pattern paper that had plenty of these flowers on it. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to cut into that paper and yeah, use them on the layout. While I'm doing this, I also decided to cut out some of the leaves that were on the pattern paper. Like I said, I love the navy and the blue combination. Why do I keep saying navy and blue? I mean the navy and pink combination. And it just works really well together. So I cut out some of these leaves just to try and make my flower work. So I cut out 3 of the leaves, and then I think, you know, need another cluster on the other side. So I decided to fussy cut another one, and then I mess around with this for a little while. So this takes up a little bit of my time, mostly because I'm so indecisive and so unsure of my placement a lot of the time. So I'm messing around with these flowers, these leaves, and just working on 2 little clusters. Well, they're not really clusters, it's just, you know, a pretty flower. So I thought I like to go for the triangle, you know, the whole 3-point cluster thing, but I don't think it's really a cluster if it's just, yeah. Anyway, enough of the rambling. So as you can see, I'm now finally getting around to adhering it down. And yeah, I'm just going to add those leaves in. I think I used some foam adhesive for this flower just to pop it up a little bit, I think, from memory. And I feel that my leaves look weird, but yeah, it's down. Once it's adhered, you know, we move on. We go with the flow. So I'm going through my plate of awesomeness just to see if I can find anything else that I want to add to these clusters. But yeah, in the end, I think I pretty much just decided to leave them as is. Oh, I do add something in a minute, which is pretty cool, so you have to wait and see that. Now I'm deciding to add something down the bottom here just to sort of anchor this page down so it's not all top heavy. And I decided to cut a small of this navy. I felt it needed to add the navy somewhere else. So I just made a little flag banner out of the navy and used another one of those heart stickers just on top of that. And I love this paper so much, and I really wanted to fussy cut something else out of it. Yes, I know I said I hate fussy cutting, but I just wanted to add something else. So I cut out one of these little bushy flowery things and try and decide where to place it. In the end, I decided to put it down the bottom here in my bottom cluster. So yeah, I was happy with that. So yeah, surprisingly, I did a lot of fussy cutting. Okay, not a lot as some of the other ladies on the design team you have seen, but a lot for me, a lot more than I would have thought. So yeah, that paper is really fun. It's got some beautiful patterns on it and really good to fussy cut. So I think I might have to do it again, and yeah, use these elements again on another layout. So this is what I was talking about. I use these little circle puffy sticker thingies that we got, and I add them to the middle of my flowers. Just to add some dimension to the layout and just something a little different. I contemplate using my one last leaf, but it just looks weird, just one random leaf. Do I put it down? I don't think I do. No, I don't. But yeah, one random leaf would have looked a little strange. So now I'm looking to add some journaling. I'm trying to figure out where to put it and what to do it with. And I decide to go with another flag banner, and I really like the way this turns out. Again, adding more of that navy just to add a bit of contrast into the layout. And I've just cut it into a double-ended flag banner, and then I'm going to use my white gel pen. I'm going to write on it and do some journaling on it. So I really love the way this turned out, and I love how that navy is in 3 places and follows that triangle pattern that we love so much in scrapbooking. And now this is where I'm adding my journaling with my white gel pen, and this worked really well. I was quite happy with it. White gel pens especially can be very temperamental if you don't get the right one, and I don't use it all that often. But no, it worked really well, and my journaling, I kept it nice and simple, just happy birthday Chantel, nothing too extravagant. And then I'm going to add some splatters, because you know I can't do a layout without splatters or some form of messiness in the background. And I didn't want to go with black because it would have been too bold. You know what, I probably should have used navy. That would have made sense. But instead I used tinsel. Now tinsel is like my second favourite colour. I love that it's that dark gunmetal grey without being too in your face black. And then just to help anchor the entire layout down and just sort of contain it all so it's not floating off the page, I do a hand-drawn doodly border, and that's it for my layout. I absolutely adore how this turned out. I thought I would struggle with this kit because of the pinks and the flowers, but I had a great time doing this. I absolutely love this layout. It's one of my favorites. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon with a new project with this kit. Bye for now.